Okay, so let's erase this. Now we're looking at the next type, which is you can read that second box on the page. We're looking at just how to solve simple exponential equations. And let me do the first one as an example for you, and then see if you guys can do the rest. If you look at the instructions, all it says is we want to rewrite our equation so that the bases match up. And once the bases match up, then I just set the exponents equal and solve. I'll show you what that means. So let's look at number 3. We're looking at 2 to the x equal to 8. Yeah. So bases being equal means I want to write this guy, both of these, so that they have the same base. The base is the number that's on the bottom, right? So when you look at it, look at some exponential function. This part is called the base. The part that's on the base, the bottom. And then the top and the part that's called the exponent. So I want to make the bases match up. That means I can write this as 2 to the x equals 2. I want to write this as 2 to something. What's 8? 2 to the third, right? 2 to the third is equal to 8. 2, 4, 8. Yeah. And so now I have the bases the same. So if these two are equal, then that means the top parts must also be equal, right? Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So all I do is now that I have this written with the same bases, I just set these exponents equal to each other. So x is equal to 3. And at that stage, there's nothing to solve. It's already done. So this is the answer. Sometimes this might be a more complicated expression, which we'll have to do a little bit of algebra, but as it is, that's all it is. So see if you guys can try out number 4 now. Number 4. Same idea. All right, I'm going to continue on with number 4. So first thing is we want to write this with the same base, right? 3 to the 2x minus 1 is equal to 27 is 3 to the third, right? 3, 9, 27. So now that the bases are the same, I just want to set the exponents equal. So it's going to be 2x minus 1 is equal to 3. And then I just solve for x. So plus 1 on both sides, 2x is equal to 4. Divided by 2 on both sides, x is equal to 2. And then there's the answer. That's number 4. All right. Are we ready for 5? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, these aren't so bad, I think. Yeah? For 5, it's 3x plus 2 is equal to 1. All right. To get 1, all I have to do is just think of it as anything to the 0 power is 1. So this is going to be 3 to the x plus 2 is equal to 3 to the 0 power. Right? So those are going to match up. Then that means x plus 2 must be equal to 0. So I just write that out. X plus 2 equal to 0. And then solve. That means x is equal to subtracting 2 on both sides, negative 2. Right there. That's the answer. Okay, good. I see nods. So I think we're doing okay with that one. Erase. And then the last type of this, last problem of this type, number 6. Okay, this is the trickiest one of the batch. Solve 4 to the x is equal to 8 to the x plus 1. So you know how like we said to write everything in the same base, but this is actually tricky to write in the base 4. And similarly, this is kind of tricky to write as a base 8. So what we want to do instead is write these as base 2. This is how I want to think of it. 4 is equal to 2 to the second power, right? And then 2 to the second power to the x, that's the same thing. This is 4 to the x power, 4 to the x power. This one, same thing. 8 is 2 to the third power, right? So 2 to the third power to the x plus 1. Now, when you're dealing with exponents, I'm not sure if you remember this or not, but there's this rule that says if you take something to a power raised to another power, it's the same as multiplying those powers together. So this is actually, you can think of this as 2 to the 2x. And same thing like here. I can think of multiplying this 3 times the x plus 1. That's 2 to the 3 times x plus 1, or 3x plus 3. Now you just multiply this power times whatever power you're taking to. Right, so now that I have that, now I have the same base, right? 2 and 2. So I can just look at the exponents, set them equal, and then solve. So it's going to be 2x equal to 3x plus 3. And let's see, let's subtract 2x from both sides, subtract 3 from both sides. So it's negative 3 is going to equal to x. And that's it. That's the answer. X is negative 3. Let's just make sure that we have the right answer. So let's say, what happens if I plug in negative 3? 4 to the negative 3. And I have 8 to the negative 3 plus 1, which is 8 to the negative 2. Is that right? Yeah. Four to the negative 3 is 0.15625. And 8 to the negative 2 is the same thing. So both of these are equal to 0.15625. Or really just 1 over 64, yeah? 8 squared, 64. So yeah, they're both the same. That means we got the right answer. Okay, that is number 6. So take a break to read the next box right now.